There's a massive problem with modern day diet. I'm going to go through 3 problems in this video. I'm sure you've all realised, ever since fat loss diets became a thing, that there's something new coming out almost every couple of years that claims to be the silver bullet for fat loss, or whatever else they're proclaiming. Everyone has their own opinions on what actually works, what doesn't, but for me, I fall back into what science says and the literature. And I'm not saying that science is the finished article, because I don't think that that's the case. But the problem is getting worse in this fitness industry, and we're starting to experience more influxes of even more nonsense. And I understand that these people are trying to help, but they're doing so at the detriment of these people. Problem number 1 is social media. The best thing about social media is that anybody can say anything, and the worst thing about social media is that anybody can say anything. The problem that we have is that the norm is never going to stand out because it's not exciting or different. And unless that person has an incredible physique or they're famous for a particular reason, then no one's really going to take notice of what they're saying. If you're like me, you probably like to eat something other than boiled chicken, brown rice, no seasoning, a little bit of broccoli. You like to drink something other than water. But if you listen to some people on social media, they would have you thinking that you are going to die if you eat anything processed or if you consume aspartame. Eddie Abou has grown massively in probably 12 months or so. And why is that? The reason why Eddie has grown so quickly is because he's out there. What he's saying holds absolutely no scientific base whatsoever, and he's making things up as he goes along. But his personality and his perception and the information that he throws across is different, and it's funny. And I'm not saying that I don't enjoy his videos, even though I don't agree with anything that he says, because it's funny. The social media algorithms love people watching and then sharing and then liking and commenting, because it keeps eyeballs on the platform, and the more eyeballs on the platform, the more advertising space that they can sell. And unless it's dangerous, inciting hatred, or then they're not going to take it off, even if it's not exactly true. The sharing, the eyeballs, which benefits the platform, then does the opposite to people, where that information then gets delivered to them because other people like it. The algorithm assumes that those people like it, then that's shared more, and before you know it, you have Eddie Abou, who is teaching some kind of pseudoscience that has over 1 million followers on Instagram. But then when you look at what he's actually saying, you can talk to your fat and tell it not to be there by not eating carbohydrates or skipping breakfast. You have to question it. The reason I say that is because Eddie Abou was a very, very high level bodybuilder. He actually shared the stage with Ronnie Coleman. He didn't get there by skipping breakfast or eating no carbohydrates, because I can guarantee his diet would have looked a lot different. And he took a tremendous amount of performance enhancing drugs to get there. So the fact that he has a blood glucose monitor that only type 1 diabetes need, you sort of have to question why. Because I can guarantee that he hasn't been through what he's been through, i.e. being huge, eating optimally, including all of the macronutrients, and then all of a sudden he's found the silver bullet for health. Number 2 is that they are trying to make money. And that's ironic, really, in a way, that they're trying to make money, but I am an online coach as well. I'm not a charlatan. My way is backed by years of research and science. And I'm not saying that Eddie is wrong in everything that he says, because he puts just enough of the truth in there that people will believe it, but he brings them into his funnel of nonsense. Again, he was a world-class bodybuilder, and I can guarantee that at the peak of his condition, he was eating carbohydrates. He says that the way that you lose fat is to avoid carbohydrates, and maybe he did limit his carbohydrate restriction, but the majority of bodybuilders, who are the leanest people in the world when they're on stage, never restrict carbohydrates unless it's for peak week. And Liver King is another one, and I enjoy Liver King's videos as well, because I think it's funny and it is out there. He eats raw liver, but again, then he was caught cheating and being dishonest with what he was doing and the reasons why. That's all well and good, because it's all marketing for his bars. And I'm not saying that steroids are bad, because that's his choice and Liver King can do what he wants, he's an adult. But saying that you can get as big, as shredded, as lean, have that life that he has if you follow his tenets and then eat Liver King bars, is, let's just say, dishonest. But again, if you've tried them and you like them and you've been sucked into the marketing and they taste absolutely amazing, then go for it. Problem number 3 is authority. If you've ever come across Twitter, now X, with doctors, say doctors, MD after the name, and they promote a diet such as vegan, carnivore, keto, then just realize that most of them are charlatans, and they are the worst of the worst because they are trying to have that authority bias. And podcasts are the same as well. Podcasts have that perception of authority and expert knowledge. But if everyone was an expert, you'd just have one guest doing one topic. So when you've got a guy that's coming on who's vegan and then the next week it's a carnivore, they're both experts, doesn't make sense. So Paul Saladino is a carnivore that now seems to have done a 180 and he's making his way into eating fruits, much more healthy. He's got MD after his name, and it seems like the narrative changes daily based on what he wants to do. So he's now got himself a following on social media for eating meat. His diet now consists of carbohydrates, fruits, so fructose, which some carnivores will tell you that it's going to give you cancer and you're going to die. And remember, his narrative at the start was he eats meat only and that's the best way to live, and anything else consumed is terrible for you. And you'll see in threads as well, when they put a study that they've got that information from, they'll put it and they'll cherry pick stuff out of there. But go into them studies, it's free. Google Scholar, type in the number that they give you or the title of the study, and then have a look at what it actually says and form your own opinion of it. Okay, so what is the truth? The truth is that some of what they're saying is correct, it's right, and some of the stuff that they're saying is wrong, and that's for the general population. And what could be good for you might be bad for me, and what could be good for someone else could be good for someone else. And that means that putting a restrictive diet on anybody and saying it will help you feel better is false and misleading. So what should you do? Find something that works for you. Eat foods from all macronutrient groups, avoid alcohol, sleep enough, do cardio, lift weights, be social, and be happy. And most importantly, ignore all the noise. Hope you enjoyed that. See you in the next one.